holidays for a good reason is like saying that your birthday doesn't matter because it's not my birthday.
Not quite the same.
That still sounds dumb. Okay.
Well, France doesn't come over to America on Thanksgiving.
That's not what I mean. By the way, guys, Barbara's here. And she's gone. Okay. Never mind. Never mind, she's way too long. She wants her treats. I'm locked in the other room. Um, okay. So yes, welcome back to Phoenix, right? Last time we finished the first day of the trial, which for some reason I feel like hadn't happened in a while. Like, we've been getting pretty good at this game that trials have been only going on for one day. You know what I mean, Sheldon?
Yeah.
We're that good at this game now. But we are not quite ready to prove Maggie's innocence quite yet. But hopefully we'll have what we need today, so...
Man, I hope they didn't want you to list it out because, you know, pi goes on for infinity.
Let's see. What else happened? Yes.
Maybe they wanted me to round up.
And, try to ignore Mom in the background.
Yeah, it's a bit hard.
Look at him rub on him. Look at this. It's ridiculous. You're my favorite person. Oh, I love you.
Mom, do you mind?
Sorry, we're cracking up at the cat.
Is Dallas begging again?
He is loving your dad so hard right now because he's got food.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Sorry, apparently Dallas is begging. Anyway. Also, we met our phony, aka the Tiger. Also, the creepiest woman in this entire series. But then again, I like creepy. And I'm pretty sure I've seen creepier. Not in this game, but in general. I mean, I know you have, Sheldon.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely have. You've seen The Grudge.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the creepiest women out there. I don't know, would it count since she's a ghost?
Yeah, of course it would count for creepy.
No, I mean, would it count as a creepy girl?
Absolutely.
If she's, like, dead. Okay.
Besides, I've seen other creepy girls that are definitely most certainly alive.
Oh, you know others?
Oh, yeah.
You'll have to tell me about them later.
Definitely.
Yeah, so... Anyway, we met the Tiger. And, Violetta Cadaverini. I can't believe I remember that word. It's like, just looking at her name, just tells you it all. It just tells all it. It's pretty self-explanatory. But yes, we got some papers from her that were due to that she had from a surgery from a fatal accident. And apparently she died once. And I'm not saying she's Frankenstein. Like she's resurrected. She's definitely not resurrected. But, yes, and Dante Gray tried to take the broth, but then just in the nick of time, Gumshoe comes to save the day. Again. And that's where we did the trial, and that, then we stopped. So we're gonna find out what's gonna happen today. So take it away, Sheldon. I really need to narrow down my intros and outros. This is what happens when you hire Okay, this is really loud.
Yeah. And the volume remote was buried underneath your laptop.
It's okay. What was I saying?
You need to narrow down your...
Oh yeah, my
Intros.
intro and outro.
Yeah. January 8th, 9:46 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
I thought we ended that.
No?
Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well on a giant mystery.
That's true. We still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
Are you okay, Nick?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes.
No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination.
Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
Hey, pal. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway. Oh. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this will help.
Huh? Have you taken up therapy too?
Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is a small bottle that turned up in Tribulations' kitchen a couple of days ago.
That's right, we went to give it a chemical test.
Right? Actually, no, this is Gumshoe, so he'd say, this is the small bottle that showed up in Tribulations' kitchen a couple of days ago.
Wow, look at all these little bottles.
Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor.
Okay, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others.
Well, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either.
And it doesn't smell.
We finally got the analysis results back from the lab.
So, what is it? Is it the poison?
It's nail polish. I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication.
Medication. Medication?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears? You mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum. What was Glenn Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? Victim's ear medicine. Found covered in unidentified fingerprints in the kitchen. What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but... That's gonna weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal. This is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today. Got it? Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright.
Well, definitely not his. I'll say that right now.
January 8th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Godot. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear.
It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have on it.
Ha! Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning. We must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles. The old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. He was throwing us off the scent. And today I'll prove it. Very well, let the first witness take the stand.
It is this guy, okay.
And you are?
Prepare yourself.
Let me see if I can find him.
Oh, turtle? Oh, God.
He says not this time.
Huh.
And you are?
Oh, bonjour, everyone. I am Jean Armstrong, the owner and head chef of the Tribulations restaurant. Enchanté.
Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman?
Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am the pet and perky gentleman, no?
On the day of the incident, you were in Tribulations' kitchen. Isn't that right?
With you, monsieur. Everything feels right.
Ha! Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well, your
Or at
testimony please, witness.
Or at least confuse him.
Right? Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribulations.
Oui, volontiers. Sora needs to be here to tell me how horrible my French is.
Sora, if you ever do watch this, or if you make it to the stream, leave it in the chat or the comments down below. Tell us how bad Sheldon's French accent is.
Not just my French accent, but how I pronounce the words.
Take French in general. Anyway, continue.
When it happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decos that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. The cup, the earpiece, and the glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no?
Mirror?
Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror.
And suddenly the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
When it all happened, there was just 2 customers in my restaurant.
And who were the 2 customers exactly?
Of course, the young man who died, and the other not-so-young man.
You are referring to yesterday's witness, I presume. What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence.
We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we?
I guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being.
I remember I was experimenting with some new Art Deco that day.
You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard about that before today?
You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur?
Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before?
But I did, just a few moments ago.
Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decoupture? No, Art Deco. It's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Ah, yes, of course. That deco.
I was trying to achieve a more la effeminate look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of the decor. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example.
How big of a mirror are we talking about here?
Something about 4 meters wide and, about 2 meters high.
Let's see, if 1 meter is about 1 yard. Holy glass in a frame, that's huge!
I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually.
The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember.
No, but I decided not to go through with that, with it in the end.
What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not? If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies.
But...
You didn't ask, Wright. You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work. What? A mirror was delivered to Tribulations the day before the incident. Really? As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Tribulations, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. If you want to doubt someone, Wright, look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough. So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror.
Perhaps that is what the old man was looking at.
Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object. Normally? How does normality come into this? That's lame, Wright. Even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here? Well, Wright.
Jack, not the hair!
I do not have a top knot.
Mr. Godot is correct. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument.
Bien. Bien. Logic as one la day. La cup, la earpiece, and la glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no?
Everything? He would have seen everything in reverse.
Oui.
Hey Nick, we should take a second. We should take a sec and think about what old G said in testimony.
How do you phrase it again?
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs.
No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without doubt. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup. His left hand.
If he saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right, huh?
And that clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess. Or does it? Huh. It's kind of hard to believe everything's the fault of a mirror, but...
Do you think OCD saw everything through a reflection?
if he did, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony.
But that just makes the situation worse for me. There's gotta be something in that old man's testimony. We just gotta dig deeper.
I know what it is. You didn't notice what it was? So we got our attorney badge, we got the Magatama, we got the sports paper, we got the magazine clipping, we got the job listings, we got the lunch special, we got the scooter, we got Jean's loan contract, we've got Victor's testimony that says, when the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat, I'm sorry. We got the floor plans, we got the autopsy report, we've got the crime photo, we got the coffee cup, we got the lottery ticket, we got the apron, we got the potassium cyanide, we got the prescription bag, we've got Glenn's calendar, we got the paper badge, we got MC Bomber, we got the millionaire radio flyer, we've got Gumshoe's lunchbox, we got Viola's medical papers, we got the Tribulation matches, we got the small bottle that was the ear medicine, and then the people are Maya, Mia, Godot, Maggie, Glenn, Dick, Victor, Jean, Lisa Basile, and Viola Cadaverini, and Bruto Cadaverini, and Furio Tigre.
Do you know who I noticed isn't in this isn't in this profile?
Who?
The judge.
No, he wouldn't need to be. Because he's not someone we would ever need to present to someone.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Remember, I was experimenting with some new Art Deco that day. Can you prove that wrong? Can you prove wrong that he was decorating?
Not really? Can you?
Can you prove he didn't have a large mirror? Well, why does he say it was a large mirror? Perhaps that's what the old man was looking at. The cup, the earpiece, and the glasses, he would have seen everything in reverse, right? Meaning instead of everything being on the left, everything would be on the right. The cup would be with his right hand, the earpiece would be in his right ear, and the weird glass thing would be on his right eye.
Not exactly.
Hmm?
Let me see Glenn again.
The victim was a programmer, wore an HMD over his left eye, his left eardrum was ruptured.
Aha! Prevent. First try.
The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we?
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without doubt.
So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw all that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactement. You see, Michelle, now that you think about it, it is not so hard, no? Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Order! Order! Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye. How bitter. Trite, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee, or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. Oh, he thinks? You remember this, I presume? The I broke the vase sorry apology, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg? Clearly it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. That is cool.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
No.
Or they knew you.
They messaged me.
Who's that? I'm so
They go,
confused.
hey, I got your mom for Secret Santa. What is she like?
What is that?
It's a creepy Japanese doll. She comes with a mask. She comes with a mask.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I know, isn't it cool? This is cool. All right, who was it? Because they didn't sign a name.
They didn't? We gotta figure it out. Yeah, you do.
Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear his left ear? Ha! Well, Trite.
Oh, that's the worst, but best impression of Kudo ever.
I'm utterly confused.
What are you utterly confused about?
He just repeated what we said.
Because he said that he gets all confused whenever something makes an impression on him. That's supposed to be an impression, so I guess it was, oh yes, I saw it was on his left ear. Whenever something really sticks in his memory, he gets all confused about it, is what he's saying. So he's going, what's the most thing that would stick in your mind the most about Glenn? His eye, thing. So yeah, he would be confused and think it was on his right side. He's saying the old man is crazy and senile and was wrong. So you can't trust what he was saying.
Can't prove that.
That was it. That's all he was saying.
Can't prove that. Well, I really thought you would hold CD for a minute there. 'Cause that was good.
Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony.
Bad luck, Nick. It looks like the boil of a contradiction you found. It's just a rash.
A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears.
Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans, look at la plans of la restaurant.
The mirror.
Hold on a second.
What are you looking at?
I'm messaging someone. Hold on. The mirror. Hello. Is everyone sitting comfortably? The mirror. It was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of La Victime. That was la seat at the table next to La Victime's. That was where la old man was sitting. After a terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror.
What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this.
Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again.
Ugh, I hate that guy.
You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that?
Volunteer, of course.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please.
Oh,
Yes, I can pull you up. Jelly bean, jelly bean. Wait, I thought you said your jelly bean exploded.
What?
Didn't you say your jelly bean exploded?
No, I did.
Oh, you exploded. Okay. I'm like, what happened? Your jelly bean fixed itself.
No, I did. And some got on it.
Gotcha.
How would a pillow even explode anyway?
Huh?
How could a jelly bean pillow even explode anyway?
If it pops open and pours out all its beans?
That's popping. That's not exploding.
Well, if the beans get everywhere. The mirror. It was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves.
So run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct?
We.
We? Really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way. Look who's talking, Wright. Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things. But, this is my seat in the courtroom. Tribulations' charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Trite.
Someone whose name I cannot read because it's in Russian says hello.
Hello, Russian person.
I tell you, monsieur, La Mirror was there, in the middle of the restaurant. There is only one seat from which you can have seen an image of La Victime. And where would that be? Oh la la, look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer.
Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once.
I attract the older ones too, you know. Handsome. Shall I tease you too?
I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid he'll be waiting for a long time. The hot someone is my coffee.
You guys can tell. Also, is the guy gay? Is the guy bi?
I don't know what he is.
I'm gonna go bi. I bet he is.
Mocha.
Mocha cream skin. cappuccino perfume. What?
She's saying the exact same thing I said. But she's got mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume. Coffee. No, I will tell you. There was only one seat from which you could have seen. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting.
Who's that?
Joker comics that Mom got. So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? My monsieur, it is obvious, no? If you look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror, like so. If you were sitting at the table next to him, you would have seen everything, no?
So that's what the old lady was sitting in. Sitting in on that day. When the poisoning happened.
The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim? Why does that seem kind of odd? At the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way.
Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police?
Oui, exactement. I carried it out of the restaurant then.
You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself.
Can you fix my butt?
Fix your butt now?
You're southern.
What?
You sounded southern.
I did? Oh, sorry. What can I say? I know how to pick things up and I'm handsome.
Don't actually laugh or something.
Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong?
Get it? It's even, you know, Armstrong. I look like the obliging type, no? But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
Are you sure about that?
I touched nothing except the mirror.
Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene?
Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly.
Yeah, suffering from a case of heartburn, Trey.
Oh, I have just the thing for that. In oil with golden myrrh in frankincense.
Add a few drops to your coffee and voila, enjoy. Focus, Phoenix. Breathe. I need to ignore those two and just find some evidence.
It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. Do you think someone would have, but Maggie didn't, 10 years old CD?
Then the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Tribulations that day.
Now I've just got to prove it somehow. Think about it. Any ideas?
No.
All right. He's saying that he sat there. So he could see the victim there, because the mirror was there. Yes? So what are the only things that we know about when he was sitting in his seat?
He knocked over the vase. Oh.
This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we've heard, Your Honor.
The crime photo?
Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist.
What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
Should not exist? Huh. Sounds like you're describing yourself, Wright. I gotta refill my cup. I'm out of water.
Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is the something that should not exist in this photo?
The vase.
Hmm?
The vase.
Yeah?
Not that one.
I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture.
The vase? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony?
Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. You get to speak up.
The testimony.
Why are you lying? What's happening? There's one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there's an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not in fact sitting at the table next to the victim at all.
Don't be an idiot, Wright. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from.
Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu!
Don't try to confuse the court, Wright. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene.
Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary. In his own words, I did not touch anything else except the mirror.
Well, Manitz, what do you have to say for yourself?
I was right. There's no mirror in the restaurant that day.
In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear which she couldn't hear?
Huh.
You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Wright, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw?
If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Yeah, but I have no idea what the answer is.
Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction?
There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. Okay.
What do you mean?
Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up.
Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Can I go the other way?
Yes, you can. We're trying to figure out the answer.
It's so quiet. Yeah. What's the question?
Well, he says that he saw the victim with a Google Glass on his left eye and an earphone in his left ear. And he picked up the cup with his left hand.
Okay.
But with where the lip mark is, he was holding the cup in his right hand.
Okay.
And his left eardrum was punctured. It was ruptured. So he wouldn't have had any earbud in that ear because he wouldn't have been able to hear anything.
Okay.
But he is very adamant that he saw left hand, left ear, left eye. So the reason behind all the contradictions is simple. Either he made a mistake the ear doctor made a mistake or the victim was a phony.
Have you picked any yet?
Nope.
Couldn't have been looking at him through a mirror, huh?
We
That would have made
thought
a lot
of
of
that.
sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we thought of that, but they actually brought up that there was a mirror, but that wouldn't have worked. That wouldn't have made sense.
Well, if he was looking in the mirror and the guy was behind it, would have. I don't know. Maybe he
The
was
claim-
incorrect.
The claim was there's the victim's table.
Okay.
So he was dead here in the seat.
Okay.
So they said that they had a mirror here. So the witness saw the victim. But the witness also said he broke the vase on his table. We have a picture showing that the vase on this table is intact.
Well, then he was incorrect. Obviously, he made a mistake. No matter how adamant he is, apparently
He
doesn't know
seems
what he's
very
talking about.
adamant that he
Well,
knows.
He also was adamant that he broke his vase. So
Well, he
made a
did.
mistake.
He wasn't sitting in that seat. He was sitting on the other side of the restaurant.
I thought you said that it wasn't broken.
The one on that table wasn't broken, meaning he wasn't sitting there.
So he made a mistake.
No, he was sitting on the other side of the room.
He still made a mistake. Or he's a liar. And that's not an option. Liar isn't an option, right?
Liar is not an option.
Ah. Or the victim was a phony. I like that one. It was a
I'm
setup.
guessing it's that one, but if he was a phony, then who else would it be?
I don't know. I mean, we can save.
So we already did.
Oh, did we? Here? So what do you think?
I think probably the third one is the most likely.
This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Sorry. Order! Order of the court! Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom. Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh? What did you say? Trite. Are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. That would also explain why he didn't see the other person sitting at the table.
It does?
Yes. Because if it was a phony sitting at the table, remember, Maggie walked out, handed the coffee to Glenn. Glenn took a sip and collapsed and died. She fainted right then and there, but she saw another man at the table. She also saw a CD on the table. Victor didn't see the CD or the other man. He saw someone pretending to be Glenn so that they would have a witness.
So are you saying that other man was Glenn? The real Glenn?
No.
I'm confused. How would that explain the other man at the other table? The other man at the table.
Because Victor never saw the other man at the table because the other man at the table wasn't there when Victor was sitting there.
Maggie said she saw it somewhere.
Glenn Elg, other guy, sitting at the table. Maggie walks over. I hit the controller by accident. Maggie walks over. She sees them both. She's Glenn. Collapse. She faints. Victor sees a man who's not actually Glenn Elg at the table. He goes, ugh. And Armstrong goes, oh no, go call the police. So Victor runs out. It was a setup. It wasn't actually Glenn. Meaning the other man didn't need to be there.
So why was he there?
He wasn't.
Who did Maggie see then?
Victor saw Glenn Elg collapse and die. Victor then ran out of the room. Ran out to try and find a police. Then, in walks Glenn. In walks the other man. They sit down, get some coffee. Maggie walks out, gives Glenn the coffee. Glenn dies. Maggie faints. Other guy walks out. And in walks Victor, finding a dead body there.
So are you saying it happened? So are you saying it happened before the real Glenn Elg even arrived?
Yes.
Ah.
I'm saying that he saw Glenn Elg sitting there. He collapsed. And Victor ran out. Then this guy got up, walked out. Then in comes actual Glenn Elg and the other guy. They sit down. Maggie gets the coffee. He dies. She faints. The other guy goes, whoop, I'm out of here, and leaves. And then Victor comes in. He saw Glenn Elg's dead body before he left, and there's Glenn Elg's body after he got back.
Okay, I think I get it now. So, the fake Glenn Elg really died.
Yes. No.
You said, that's what you said.
I'm gonna enjoy this coffee by myself. Hi, Victor over there. Ugh! Oh, I'm dead. Well, I better go find the police. Runs out. All right, cool. My job's done. See ya.
Okay, so the real Glenn Elg did.
Hi, I'm Glenn Elg.
Okay, so the real Glenn Elg did die.
The real Glenn Elg died. The phony pretended to die.
Okay.
At least that's my theory.
That would make sense. But yes, I get it now.
Okay, good. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning, all for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. And that way, Victor could go, there was no other man there. Meaning the only person that would be an actual credible witness, Maggie, is doubted because she goes, yeah, there was another man sitting at the table. And everyone else goes, no, there wasn't.
It all happened beforehand.
Exactly. Get real, Wright. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was, the serving girl brought him his cappuccino, but she put something in it. They wanted to blame Maggie. So they needed a witness that saw. Like, she probably walked past with the coffee and went, oh, hold on. Ah, there it is. Oh, hi, Mr. Kudo. Don't mind me. That way they've got a witness that says, I saw the waitress put it in the coffee.
But in reality, it was probably just sugar or something.
Exactly.
Because it was a different person.
Exactly. That serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
It's so hard to believe, but
There was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee.
are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. That's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct?
Oh la la, this is most difficult for me.
No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Tribune that day? Sorry, Tribune. The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain, in detail, the events in the restaurant that day.
Oui. In the restaurant. Le victim, Monsieur L. He came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There was no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Monsieur L became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for the phony to do the acting.
Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all.
Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly.
What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later.
Oui.
For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please.
He took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. Le victim, Monsieur L, he came to my restaurant alone.
Was he alone at his table as well?
Oui, I saw him from the kitchen.
Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Huh. Unfortunately for you, Wright. Yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has been drinking?
It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's very sweet.
Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden.
I remember the old man arriving not long after him.
By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct?
Oui, he comes often for my special coffee.
I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime.
I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more.
So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim.
Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. How many minutes after, or what time was it?
What do you think?
What time was it? Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oh, no. I cannot remember, monsieur.
I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness?
The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10 p.m., no?
Just after 2, huh?
Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful.
I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? Sora says, "Hi, Cat."
Hey, sorry you made it.
Yay!
The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony.
Good, now Sora can help us with these.
Sora, tell us how bad Joan's French accent is.
Yes, tell me how bad my French accent is and how bad I'm pronouncing all these French words.
Oui, monsieur Judge. Everything I do it for you.
Monsieur Bien. That's French, isn't it?
I said that wrong on purpose, by the way.
I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood.
He's even humming a song to himself.
I remember the old man arrived not long after him, just after 2 p.m.
Are you absolutely sure about the time?
When I think really hard, I am sure it was just after 2. Oui. It is the time I stopped serving the lunch menu.
Quite right. I always break for lunch when the restaurants are serving their specials. I've been known to wind up a case early just to make it on time.
I guess you should never get between a hungry judge and his lunch.
Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already.
Witness, get on with your testimony, please. It's so bad the thing he said bad on purpose was right. Really?
The merci bien.
But I thought it would be merci bien. There were no other customers.
So your only customers were Mr. Kudo and the victim.
Oop.
How many times do you need to ask the same thing, Trite? You'd never catch me drinking the same blend twice.
Huh?
You're trying to establish the presence of a phony victim in the restaurant, but you're wasting your time. You can't grind birdseed to make coffee if you catch my drift.
But there's a hole in this testimony somewhere. I'm sure of it. It is not beyond? It's not? I thought it was très bien.
Apparently at the end.
It's bien? I thought that was French. Spanish. One of those languages that I know like 5 words in. So it's bien? I thought you didn't pronounce the N at the end of French words. So I don't know. Sorry, help. When he got word he won the lottery, Monsieur L became very excited. Did you see him? No, I was in the kitchen, but I heard him. I remember him shouting, "Yes, $500,000.
Presumably the defendant heard that too, then, correct?
Maggie? She looked like a poorly little frightened dove.
What about Mr. Kudo?
The old man choked on some bear seeds that got stuck in his throat.
It seems we now have yet another incident on our hands.
It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred.
And what were you doing at that point?
Without any customers, you must have had time to kill. I am a multi-talented woman, monsieur.
Sorry? What do you mean?
There is the renowned chef Jean Armstrong and the tragic poet Clarice Armstrong.
Clarice?
Oui, I was writing a poem. An angry tale of a chef in $500,000 of debt, cooking for a man who won $500,000 on the lottery. It is called Pourquoi? It means why. Perhaps I could recite it for la court. I thought pourquoi would be P-O-R space Q-U-O-I-S.
Please don't. No, please do.
No, there was no time for the phony to do la acting.
You mean you contacted the police as soon as the incident occurred?
I asked the old man to call from the payphone.
By your own argument, right? The purpose of this phony victim's performance was so the old man would see it. In other words, once the incident occurred, this opportunity would completely disappear. Indeed.
Bien. It seems the shadow of doubt has been lifted, n'est-ce pas?
If it's not bien, you must have had time to kill. Literally.
Source said you must have had time to kill. Literally. Literally, you had time to kill. You're the killer.
I mean, I think it's kind of suspicious that Maggie brought the coffee out to him. He took a sip of the coffee and died. Who made the coffee?
Like, that's definitely not Maggie's hair. Her hair is a lot shorter than that.
Right. But I like that. You must have had time to kill, literally.
Her
Quoi?
hair is a lot shorter than that.
Yes, it is. So if it's not bien,
It's bien? Bien?
bien. Bien.
I must say it through my nose. Bien. Baguette. I do not know the French word. Now I'm going Transylvania.
Bien.
It seems the shadow of doubt has been lifted, n'est-ce pas? I know I'm saying n'est-ce pas right. That one I know.
I guess Mr. Armstrong is connected to this case, huh?
Absolutely. Someone was impersonating Mr. Elg, and I refuse to believe he was oblivious. He was there the whole time, after all.
But if you're right, wasn't Maggie noticed too?
She fell unconscious when the incident occurred, remember?
Stop! You mean that's when he takes his act?
Oh, I had it backwards. That's how he knew what to do, too. Oh my god, yeah! It all makes sense.
Character fill me in,
I don't know if I should.
please? How about this? Mute the microphone. Then only you and I know.
What?
Then only you and I know.
Oh, you said mute the microphone.
Yeah.
No. I need Sora to hear this too, so Sora can see just how far off I am.
You might want to get some bottles again. My dog. Okay.
Right.
Just in case I get
Okay.
confused.
It's a bit hard because Sora can't see the demonstration I'm giving with a squeaky balloon animal and a squeaky corgi. But, so, Maggie walks in, or Glen Elg and the man walk in. They're chatting. Maggie brings the coffee. Glen Elg drinks the coffee. Glen Elg dies. The man then goes, "Whoa, I'm out of here," and leaves. Maggie faints because she saw Glen Elg die. She faints, but where did she wake up? In the kitchen. So, Armstrong comes out, drags her into the kitchen, then comes out and drags Glenn's body into the kitchen. Then, Victor walks in, sits down, and here comes Glen Elg. He sits down, waitress comes out, gives him coffee. He goes, I died. And Victor runs out. And then he gets up and goes, "Alright, I've done my job," and leaves. That's how the phony knew exactly what to say, that he'd won $500,000, what he was wearing, all of that. How he got the HMD in the earphone. Because the whole time, Glen Elg's body was in the back. And then Victor comes running back, and Armstrong just dragged his body back out. So Victor came in and saw his dead body.
I think I get it.
I'm probably way off on that, and Sora's probably laughing at how bad I am. We'll know for sure once I find a hole in this testimony. Le victim, Monsieur Elg, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the time the old man arrived not long after, just after 2 p.m. There were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Monsieur Elg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for the phony to do that. No time, huh? That's the important thing. That's the only hint I'm going to give you.
I don't get it.
Well, so Glenn showed up at 2 and was listening to the lottery. Then Victor showed up and sat across the restaurant from him. Then at like 2:05, Glenn suddenly got up and went, "I won $500,000! Yes!" Okay. And then he gets the coffee. He drinks the coffee with his left hand. Ooh, oh, ah, I am dead. Someone called the police.
You should really get an acting career.
I'm doing such a horrible acting job here on purpose. But...
Yeah, on purpose. But if you were doing it for real, you would be really good.
And then Victor, oh, well, I'll go call the police. And he runs out. And then the guy goes, okay, done my job, and gets out. And then Armstrong drags the body back out. What time did he die at? What time did Victor see him die at?
Somewhere around 2?
Somewhere like 2:20 or so. Because he then ran out to get the police. And he called the police at like 2:25. So, when he showed up at 2 and died at like 2:10. In between him showing up and him dying, what did he do?
Who did what do?
What did Glenn do?
Listen to the radio,
Mm-hmm.
mess with his earpiece, drink coffee.
Okay. The earpiece isn't a thing. The radio, let's see. Only thing we have on the radio, I think, is the lottery ticket, which was for $500,000. The millionaire flyer that says that experience the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life every Monday at 1:30. And that's it. Oh, and then his ear medicine was found. I found the contradiction. I'm not sure where we're supposed to present it. But think on that for a moment and tell Sora a joke. A joke about dinosaurs.
I don't know any.
Think of one. Or a story.
I don't know any.
Make one up.
I'm really bad at that.
Then any joke or story.
A what?
Any joke.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything. No. It's my job to entertain you while shopping's gone. Because I can't use the controller. One, I don't know how. Two, I physically can't. Because my hands don't work.
It's okay, don't worry about it, says Sora. Sorry, I just had to step out. So I wanted to try and get you to engage the chat for a moment while I was out. Alright, so did you have any ideas for what to present? I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Quoi? What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. Oui, that must be the show Monsieur Elg was listening to.
I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright.
I wonder. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu.
Get to the point, Wright, if you have one.
That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life.
It's on the air at 1:30.
Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listen to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs in Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? Quite a performance, Wright. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song.
What is this, Music Theory 101?
Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elk is?
I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time the real Glen Elk was already dead.
That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say.
What?
Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to?
The missing corpse?
According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elk, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim?
Ah!
The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body?
Yes, Your Honor.
No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden.
Evidence?
So what's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden?
Thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead.
Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Mr. L concealed?
Outside Tribulations or inside Tribulations?
I still know. What do you think?
I already have a full theory, but I want you to try this one.
No, I'm just gonna mess it up.
That's why I saved.
I'm say inside somewhere.
Okay. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations.
Interesting. Where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed inside Tribulations is...
I don't know.
So Glenn Elg was here. He died. Then they had to hide his body. Where would they hide the body where Victor wouldn't, walk in and go, well, hey, there's a dead body sitting here at this table.
Probably in the kitchen.
The body was hidden here.
I see. Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location?
Just what I was afraid of.
So you need something that proves that Glenn Elg was in the kitchen. Does his attorney badge prove that Glenn Elg was in the kitchen? The Magatama. The sports paper. The magazine clipping. The job listings. The lunch special. Yes, the fact that the lunch was disgusting and cost $20 proves that Glenn was in the kitchen. The scooter. Jean owing $500,000. Victor breaking a vase. Well, it was before Victor even showed up, so. The fact that Tribulations exists. Glenn dying from potassium cyanide poisoning between 1:30 and 2:30. Picture of Glenn's dead body. The coffee cup. The lottery ticket.
I
No,
do not know.
we'll go through all these things. It'll become very clear.
I'm just gonna say no to all of them.
The apron that Maggie was wearing.
Because I don't get what I'm supposed to be wearing.
You have to prove that Glenn was in the kitchen.
Yeah, I know that, but what sort of evidence proves that?
That's why we're going through the evidence. Because one of these things will prove that Glenn was in the kitchen. What would prove that Glenn was in the kitchen? Besides finding his body there. If we found something from the kitchen on his body, or if we found something on his body in the kitchen. The poison. That was a Maggie's apron.
Oh!
Oh?
The medicine. I was wondering why that was in the kitchen in the first place.
Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I've never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality, only for me.
Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright?
Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Quoi? But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication.
What kind of medication?
I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elg visited an otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day.
You can't be serious.
The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed and have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription that was given to Mr. Elg. Plah! Mr. Elg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu! Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No!
Well, order! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenogue?
Never. I could not do such an horrible thing.
No! Mr. Godot?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm suffering for my craft.
The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules.
How many rules does this guy have, Sora? Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now?
Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend?
What?
Had a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend. Because every time he says a word that starts with H, it is highly likely that he will do an horrible job of pronouncing the H. Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. But
Speak Spanish now?
apparently...
Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor, Spanish. I'm only gonna ask you once. Did you do it?
No, no, no. Absolutely no.
Let's hear it. You got one shot. Right, Gramps. Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel.
Oui, it is clear. What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this.
Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
It is true, I hid the body in La Kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me.
You were forced? By who?
I cannot say. I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Oak died, was he really the only person at his table? There was...
Yeah, different guy.
There was another man. I knew it.
Now you're telling the truth.
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright.
There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer.
You fixed my arm.
Why is your arm underneath you?
I don't know.
Well, don't let it underneath you. It is true, I hid the body in La Kitchen.
Did you carry the body by yourself?
Oui, I carried him. And I carried Maggie too.
Maggie, too.
When she saw the victim collapse, she fainted. I could not leave her there.
Well, why did you hide the bodies?
A man forced me to do it. I had no choice.
What man? Who was he?
No, I cannot say. I fear for my life.
He's really scared.
You'll just have to put the words in his mouth.
Yeah, you're right. If you won't tell me, I'll tell him. But why would you go along with this man?
I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse.
And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong?
You know, monsieur,
Yes?
Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment. A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that.
And a bit too male.
Can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. So I'll just have to prove it, with evidence. But I did not kill him, I swear it, you must believe me. So you're claiming that all you did was hide the bodies, is that correct? Oui, that's right.
If we are to believe you, Mr. Armstrong, you must tell the court everything. You must make clear the identity of the man who ordered you to do this.
She's already confessed this much. She might as well stop dancing around in the real issue.
Yeah, but he really doesn't want to tell us who the killer is.
Then sock it into him, Nick.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So...
Skip. Profile. Don T-Ray. First try.
Let's end this dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you've been referring to. Ah!
Who is that? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh, I don't know, maybe a month ago in this very courtroom? This man is Furio Tigre. He's the manager of a loan office called Tenderlender. There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tigre, at least not while he had this on you.
What was it again? Was this a loan?
$500,000 owed to Tenderlender.
Yeah, it was definitely that.
A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you. Oui, it is as you say. Like Tiger. He told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre.
I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well?
No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable. Despicable.
Mr. Godot, you will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. "30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, Wright. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. To be continued.
We have to stop, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay, guys, that's all we have time for today. But because I have to go to OT.
You guys got about 10 minutes.
We're wrapping up right now.
You told her I'll hurry up.
So we hope to see you again for some more products. And question for how do you say it? How do you say the guy's name?
Furio Tigre?
Furio Tigre. Yep, see you before. It's Friday. 8 p.m. Tell me something. So, bye guys!
Farewell.
Mom.